Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Dunn. I use she, her pronouns. I'm wearing my version of festive red today with some black pants. And let's see. Today, I'm going to be reading a story for the person who has everything, the gift of nothing, by Patrick McDonnell. It was a special day, and Mooch wanted to give his best friend Earl a gift. But what to get him? He had a bowl. He had a bed. He had a Chewy toy. He had it all. Mooch thought and thought. What do you get someone who has everything? Nothing, that's right. He would give Earl the gift of nothing. But in this world filled with so many somethings, where could he find nothing? Everywhere. Mooch often heard Frank say there was nothing on TV. But as far as Mooch could tell, there was always something on TV. Blah, 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 blah. Mooch often heard Doozy and her friends say there was nothing to do. Have you ever said that? Yeah, okay. But as far as Mooch could tell, everybody was always doing something. Millie came home from the store and said there was nothing to buy. So Mooch went shopping. Mooch looked up and down every aisle. He found many, many, many somethings. The latest this, the newest that. But as far as he could tell, nothing was not for sale. So Mooch went home and sat on his pillow and just stayed still, as cats often do. And not looking for it, he found nothing. That's right. So he went and he got a box, and he put nothing in it. Then Mooch thought, maybe Earl deserves more than this. So he got a bigger box. Now that's plenty of nothing. For me, said Earl. Mooch, you didn't have to give me anything. Who told him? Thought Mooch. Earl opened Mooch's gift. There's nothing here, said Earl. Yes, said Mooch, nothing but me and you. So Mooch and Earl just stayed still and enjoyed nothing and everything. And you all already have your chalices lit. Just a reminder, what those symbolize is as you go downstairs, you take all of us and all of our care for you with you. And we're going to sing you out with On Your Way.
Good morning. My name is Lynn, and I use she, her. I am 63, and you may see a trend. I am again wearing cheetah. Today, after the service, we will gather for our monthly friendly feast potluck meal. You are all invited to stay for food, conversation, whether you brought food or not. We always seem to have a lot. We thank the garden group for hosting today's meal. The next Pathways to Membership, Meet the Minister, will be next Sunday, December 14th, after the service in the library. There will be a Christmas Eve service here at 5 p.m. on December 24th. If you're interested in helping to plan or lead that service, see Reverend Michelle today. If you are having difficulty hearing the service as well as you'd like, First UU does have hearing assist devices available. Please come to the service 10 minutes before 11 to be trained and get your own hearing assist device. The first fundraiser for 2026 will be a silent auction with proceeds going towards new planter boxes and the capital fund. Let Emily J. know if you have a piece of art to donate. Art pieces must be donated by December 28th. For the month of December fast, also known as Friendly Adult Social Time, will be on the 12th and the 19th to accommodate Christmas. And next Sunday on 12/14, join us downstairs for snacks and cupcakes for Kennedy Kellogg Kilo 10th birthday at 12:30. The prelude today is the Serenity Prayer with music. Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I thought
Can
about
I just talk from here?
No. No, because people on
Okay.
Zoom can't hear you.
I'm Jeannie McLaughlin. I've just started here. I'm very nervous to be up in front of people. So, yeah. Okay, I'm making a plea for the homeless of our. Okay, let me just get a second. I'm making a plea for the Springfield homeless people. As you know, I need my reading glasses. Each winter night, when temps fall below freezing, our church, along with 2 other congregations, coordinate the staff to cooperate for the Cooperative Crisis Cold Weather Shelter located at Fairbanks. In order to open the doors on these frigid nights, we need volunteers. Currently, around 8 to 10 volunteers are needed each night for the shelters to open. We're in desperate need for more volunteers. If we could build a larger core base of volunteers, we can help share the work. Jobs are varied, lasting from 1 hour to a couple hours, and for a real incredible volunteers, you spend the night. Here are a few jobs. The shelter setup is in the early evening. That's helping with check-in and hospitality. Pet transport, you need your own car, and you just transport some pets. And then, of course, the overnight monitor. In the early morning, I hate mornings, but I usually do these. It's morning checkout with helping with food and cleaning up, pet transport. Cleaning crew happens after the guests leave, and then running laundry. You can find the checkout or the sign-up link on Facebook, and you can just search cold weather shelter. It usually comes up, and then you just have to scroll down, find a comment, and find a link. But I'll be available to talk a little calmer after the service to answer any questions. If you feel more comfortable to try it out with me, like one of my shifts that I'm going on, I would be happy to do that so that you can get a feel for it. It's very safe. If you need to feel like you need to wear a mask, a lot of people do that. And it's just I am passionate about it because I think I don't want to live in a community that allows people to be outside. Yeah. That's it.
That's the one?
Yeah, at Fairbanks. And there's 5 of them in town, Michelle? Is there cold weather? Yeah, 5 of them. This is the one that our this congregation and 2 other congregations support. So, sorry.
You did great. You did great. The prelude is the Serenity Prayer with music by Betty Wilder, performed by Laura M. and Eva.
Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Grant me the courage to change the things I can, but to help me know the difference. Grant me wisdom.
Hello again. Our words of invitation. Our words of invitation today are "You Are the Miracle," are the Holiday Miracle by Gwen Matthews. As December opens up before us, we welcome in the gift of reflection. We turn toward our holiday celebrations and search for common threads of meaning. We begin with Yule, the winter solstice, and we are invited to explore duality, cycles, and seasons, and to witness the Holly King become overcome by the Oak King. Yule reminds us that what we all partake in the miracle of renewal. Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights, commemorates a time of miracles when the faith of the Jewish people sustained them to reclaim their holy temple and keep the light of the menorah, burning for 8 days. Christmas, the celebration of Jesus' humble birth in a manger, offers us to revisit the miracle of birth and the desire to find saviors to heal the scars of humanity. Here in our church, you are just as much a holiday miracle as the turning of the earth, as persistence and dedication to a faith, as the creation of each new life. We see the love you give to others, the space you create to hold one another's joys and sorrows, and the generosity and spirit you entrust to this community. You are the holiday miracle. The community is one of the miracle makers. The song of the month. Our hymn for the month of December is "Within the Shining of a Star." This is a uniquely Unitarian Universalist hymn. The lyrics are a poem written by the Reverend Robert Lehman, who served congregations in Minneapolis and San Jose. The tune was created by Betsy Jo Aubergrant, who was the director of music for the UU congregation in Annapolis, Maryland. While our 1993 Gray hymnal is no longer new, within the shining of a star was a brand new Christmas hymn then, and for many it remains unknown, easily skipped in favor of more familiar favorite Christmas music. Once found and experienced, the message and the tune linger. Let us now sing together within the shining of a star. It's 238 in the gray hymnal. The words will be on the screens. You are welcome to stand or remain seated as we lift our voices together.
Hello, I'm Millie. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a member of the Pastoral Care Circle. Today I'm wearing a blue jacket, gray slacks, and a white turtleneck, if anybody cares. Okay, let's see. As a community, we share joys and concerns to keep connected. Slips of paper are available at the greeters table for those in the sanctuary to use for joys and concerns. During the week, you may send your joys and concerns by email to pastoralcare@springfielduu.org or by leaving a voicemail on the church phone 417-883-3922. If you're on Zoom, please use the chat box now for sharing your joys and concerns. All of these joys and concerns will be included in the members' email on Tuesday. We honor each joy or concern with a lighted candle, a symbol of the love we as a community offer for each of these joys and concerns. I was hoping that Jeannie might be lighting the candles, but is she willing to do that? Okay. And now, as we begin our time of sharing, know that though we are in multiple physical spaces, we are together in beloved community. To begin, we hold in love all of us, those present and those absent. We light a candle for our church community. Now I'd like to invite Sherry Buchanan and Tanya Raines, the Development Director for the Drew Lewis Foundation, to come to the microphone.
Good morning. I think you all know that this congregation has focused on housing insecurity during the past year. Our support for the Springfield Tenants Unite group, our work at the Crisis Cold Weather Shelter, and our Donate the Basket offerings that we've taken every month. We voted at congregational meeting to donate that money to the Drew Lewis Foundation for their Blue House project. And that information's been in the What's Up. There's a sign on the bulletin board that describes it in more detail, so if you haven't figured out about Blue House yet, you're welcome to do that. But we wanted Tanya to come and accept the check. The check's locked up in the office, and I couldn't get to it, so we will be sending you the check. But I asked Tanya just to make a few comments about the work they do there.
Well, first I want to thank you for your generosity in support of the Blue House Project. I believe it's one of the most transformative projects, housing projects that we have in the Springfield community. I have a long history of serving the nonprofit community, and I've always admired and now get a chance to serve alongside the Drew Lewis Foundation. So if you're not familiar with, just thought I'd kind of share a little bit. Drew Lewis Foundation has 3 different projects or purposes that serve the community. One is the Fairbanks Community Hub. It's a restored elementary school building in the Grant Beach neighborhood. It provides a third place for people to come, and about 30,000 people walk through the doors every year. We have a coffee shop there, we have a bike shop there. It's where we host all of our community dinners. It's where we host the unsheltered and the cold weather shelter. It's also, we have several nonprofit partners that come alongside, and they're very diverse, but they wouldn't have a place to operate if it wasn't for the Drew Lewis Foundation. That's my belief, because of the operating costs associated. So we give them discount rent, they have a place to function and operate. And then we have the RISE program, and the RISE program helps people redefine independence and economic mobility for themselves. We work with, there's a lot of programs in our community that serve low income, but the working poor, typically there's not a lot of service for them or a lot of opportunity. So we're really targeting those families that are working, they're paycheck to paycheck, and then RISE program gives them a place to, and the education that they need to become more independent and more economically stable and be able to provide a future. So, and then out of that, most of the Blue House Project recipients are RISE graduates. So we are providing them with a pathway to home ownership. And just to give you a quick example, we have 2 families just recently. One is they were living in a home where their utilities were 3 times their housing payment, and the landlord wouldn't do anything to fix the utility, to improve the conditions of the house. So this family came into the RISE program. The husband advocated through the education that they received. They were able to advocate for raises and really work with a lender. We're going to allow them to rent the home for the next couple of months so they can qualify for a down payment, and in March they'll become homeowners. And just a beautiful story of how one way that we actually help support homeownership in the community. Another way is what we're finding now is that families are choosing, because there's so much restoration that's happened in the Grant Beach neighborhood, families are choosing to come and buy the houses that we're building. So most of the ones that we build are under market value, and they're for RISE participants, but we have some that are right at market value. So another example was we remodeled an enormous 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-story home right down the street from where the Fairbanks is, and the family that is moving in, the father used to live there when he grew up as a child. So he's getting to come back to his family home. They have 4 kids, and so when they were going through and looking at the house, the kids were like picking out their bedrooms, and so it was just a very heartwarming and a deliberate choice on the behalf of the family to come and be part of that neighborhood. So we really appreciate your partnership, and just know that the gift that you're giving will be multiplied, not just through the generosity of other donors, but through the families that are choosing to live in that neighborhood. So, yeah. Thank you. Yes.
And we did total out at $3,500 as our gift to Blue House.
And Jeannie, I think we can light a candle of joy for that. Right. From Reverend Michelle, we have a concern for Mary Rome. She has tested positive for COVID and is working on rest and recovery. Please send her your healing energy and cards, please. From Allison, a concern. Doc is in the hospital, but will be out this week. This is both a concern since he was in, but a joy because he's going to be home quickly and I got time to myself. We all know how that is. Okay. This is a concern, and I think it's from Mike and Reverend Michelle. Jim and V. Broadstreet ask that we drop a stone of concern for them. Jim's back condition does lend itself to surgical repairs, and in addition to the fact that he will be 96 on December 28th, the doctors advise him that surgery would be too risky for him. In addition to that, Jim's hearing aids stopped working. He is pretty much stone deaf until they are replaced. And V, his wife and caregiver, is recovering from knee surgery that she underwent just over a week ago. They ask that we correspond with them by email for the time being. Personal visits are just too tough right now. If you do not have their email address, ask Mike, it's Mike Bramer, our leader, after the service, and he will give it to you. And we light a candle of concern. This is from Michael. I got my new place and even managed to get my wheelchair into it easily, looking for rides to and from church. So we light a candle of joy and concern for Michael. This is from me. It's concerning Judy and Larry Oliver. Judy and Larry celebrated their 64th wedding anniversary Tuesday. They celebrated by taking Judy to see the orthopedist for her broken shoulder. We honor the complex and heartbreaking struggles of our world. We light a candle for all who are impacted. Sharissa Young writes, my mom, Linnell, has been hospitalized since Monday morning. It has been a roller coaster of progress and setbacks, but we continue to hope for a good outcome even when her health condition turns for the worse. We light a candle of concern for Sharisha and Linnell and their family. Dacia writes that she loves that our hymn of the month is Within the Shining of a Star. We light a candle to celebrate favorite hymns. Now we'll check the chat box. From Rick Boley, I'm getting better. I fell and sprained my ankle and fractured my heel. Hope to be back in a week or two. Thankful it could have been worse. We light a candle for Rick. I think that's all. In closing, for those joys and concerns that remain unspoken in our hearts, I let her go too soon, we light a candle. It was a community effort. May we hold each of these joys and concerns in our hearts and minds. May our community of love ease sorrow and boost celebration. Let us now join together in 1 minute of shared silence, followed by Spirit of Life.
The week of December 7th in UU history. The celebrated poet John Milton was born in Cheapside, England on December 9th, 1608. He was a devout Puritan who was influential in Oliver Cromwell's government, the Protectorate, after the death of King Charles I in 1649. Milton is remembered primarily as the author of Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained. In his lifetime, he attracted notoriety for publishing a call to legalize divorce on the basis of irreconcilable differences. Milton's treatise on Christian doctrine, published posthumously, affirmed his Unitarian beliefs. He died in 1674 at the age of 66. Offering our gifts to support the work of building inclusive and just communities is one of the many ways that we live into justice and equity together. Some of us have much to give and some have little, and altogether it is enough. We are enough to work together for a world where every human can live into the best and most authentic self. If electronic giving is your preferred method, or if you are on Zoom, virtual giving options are available via our website, springfielduu.org. I need to apologize to Eva because I didn't announce her playing. She did so wonderful. The offertory was Still, 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 a traditional German carol arranged by Michelle Murray. Thank you, Eva.
Good morning. I am Reverend Michelle Scott Huffman. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the minister here at First UU. I have a cold today. This is day 12, if you want to feel sorry for me. And so I will not join you at tables for lunch today because I will not share in close proximity while eating food and breathing on you. However, I am here to do this thing. Y'all, it's December. I don't know how that happened, but here we are. It didn't just happen. It is now the 7th day of December, which means we're like a weekend. Here we are. Our theme for December is choosing hope. Now, hope is a tricky word sometimes. Sometimes it feels like something you might read on a Hallmark card, and not much more than that. Sometimes it even feels like denial. But we're not going to talk about hope in the abstract this month. We're going to talk about all the different ways, many of the different ways, that people have chosen to lean into hope in the traditions that we talk about here from time to time. We're going to let the calendar do the heavy lifting. So if you look at the religious calendar for December, it's full. It's absolutely packed of different religious holidays. And to me, I think these dates aren't just a date on the page. They are gifts to us. They're foundational stories from our human family tree that teach us how to hope in different ways. This morning in Spirit and Practice, if you don't know, there's a thing that happens at 10 a.m. in this building, adult religious education. So you can do that before you come to church. There's a meditation space. There's a space called Seekers where they have these really deep intellectual conversations. And then across the way, there's a space that we call Spirit and Practice. And it's a little more kind of conversation around spiritual things. But this morning we had a reading that actually came from our hymnal, and part of that reading says, "There's a blessed madness in the human need to go against the grain of cold and scarcity. We make a holiday, the rituals varied as the hopes of humanity." And so today I'm thinking about the wisdom of having made a holiday. For all the different religions and traditions that have holidays this month. So next week we'll look at Hanukkah. Hanukkah will start next Sunday evening, and we'll look at hope through the resilience of the Jewish people. And the following week we'll turn to solstice and Yule and the cosmic hope of the returning sun. And on the 24th we'll end with Christmas Eve and the hope of new birth. But today, we start with Bodhi Day. Technically, Bodhi Day is December 8th, tomorrow, in the Western calendar, but strictly speaking, it falls on the 8th day of the 12th moon of the lunar year. So similar to the way we move Easter around, Bodhi Day is a holiday that moves around based on the lunar calendar. So in that iteration, it will be celebrated on January 26th. Of the coming year. It's a movable feast of awakening. There are about as many accounts of this day as there are Buddhist sects, so I'm going to give you a remix. The essence of Bodhi Day, according to the Reverend Dukkha Hanamoku. It starts with the historic Buddha. Siddhartha Gautama, before he was the Buddha, he was Prince Sid. And Prince Sid was coddled. He lived a rather plush life. His father, the king, wanted to shield him from anything unpleasant. No sickness, no poverty, no death, all luxury. So one day Prince Sid goes out into the kingdom, and for the first time his blinders come off because he sees people who are ill, people living in crushing poverty. He sees for the first time a corpse, and this shocks him. It shocks him to his core, and he basically looks around and says, "What in the world, you mean the joys of life aren't everywhere and for everyone all the time?" This new knowledge broke him. He realized that his palace life was a sham, and so he runs away. He leaves the luxury to find the true meaning of it all. Now, you've probably heard me say at some point in time that I think all of human life is about meaning making. It's the whole thing that we're doing here. And we spend all of our time trying to meaning make in relationships, trying to make meaning in different religious and spiritual rituals and traditions. In all of the ways that we engage with the world, we're constantly meaning making. What is it that we're doing here? What is it that we're meant to do? Who is it that we're meant to be? So Prince Sid goes all in on his meaning making, and for years he studies under one master and then another. He tries everything. Eventually he becomes an extreme ascetic, starving himself, denying his body. He doesn't even know what he's looking for, but he knows that he hasn't found it yet. A few years in, he's near death, emaciated, materially bankrupt, and emotionally bankrupt, and he collapses under a large ficus tree, what we now call the Bodhi tree. He's done. He throws down the gauntlet, and he vows essentially to sit under this tree until I get what I need, whatever it is. He sat there, some say for 7 days, some say for 49. This was not a tranquil, legs crossed, eyes closed, humming kind of meditation. He felt like he was under vicious attack. His mind itself was under attack, and he wrestled with his demons all night long. But then on the morning of the 8th day, he opens his eyes. He looks up and stares at the rising morning star, and the chaotic gears in his head stop grinding. He realized that he had awakened, that he had done the work to live into this awakening. The Buddhist scholar and monk Thanissaro Bhikkhu wrote a brilliant breakdown of this moment. He points out that the Buddha didn't just wake up to bliss, he woke up to causality. He realized that happiness isn't an accident, it's the result of human effort. Thanissaro Bhikkhu summarizes this awakening and what it means for us in 4 specific points, and I think they offer something of a roadmap to choosing hope. He writes first that hope is empowerment, that the Buddha saw our actions and that they actually matter. We talk about this as karma, actions driven by intention and their resulting consequences. And Bhikkhu writes, "We are not strangers in a strange land. We have formed and are continuing to form the world we experience." This is huge. It means we aren't victims of the cosmos. We are responsible for our experience, if not individually, at least communally. And that sounds scary, but it's actually the ultimate hope because it means every day we have a new choice and a fresh start to make this life what we hope it can be. Second, he writes that there are actual rules of the universe. Some Unitarians love to say everything is relative. But the Buddha saw that some things naturally lead to suffering, and some things naturally lead to freedom. Bhikkhu notes that we are not free to change the underlying rules of how cause and effect work. If we act with hate, we get suffering. If we act with love, we get liberation. And third, he says we have to audit our values. When Prince Sid woke up, he described it like this: ignorance was destroyed, knowledge arose, darkness was destroyed, and light arose, as happens in one who is heedful, ardent, and resolute. This challenges us. If true happiness is possible through heedfulness and resolve, then why are we wasting our lives chasing status and wealth? The awakening forces us to look at our culture and ask, is this actually working? Are we striving for the right things? And the fourth point that he makes is the good stuff is the answer. The awakening assures us that happiness comes from developing qualities that we can actually be proud of: kindness, sensitivity, mindfulness. The world tells us that to get ahead we have to be aggressive, self-aggrandizing, and dishonest, but the Buddha says, no, that's a trap. So Prince Sid, who becomes the Buddha in this experience, fully digests this idea that he can do the work to become the person that he is meant to be. He realizes that he has the power to shape his reality through his choices. He is now fully awake. They say immediately after this cosmic realization of empowerment, a girl from the village comes by and sees this starving man under a tree and offers him a bowl of rice and milk. For months he had eaten nothing but a few grains of rice a day. But now he knows that he's responsible for his own life. He knows that starving himself is unskillful. So he reaches out and takes the bowl and eats the rice and milk. And it was the fuel that he needed to begin 40 years of teaching. But his friends, the other ascetics, who were still just eating a few grains of rice a day, saw this and they were appalled. And they came up to him and chastised him and said, "Man, you changed. You used to be all about the austerity. You broke the rules." And Prince Sid said, "Of course I changed. What doesn't?" And his friends became enlightened too. And so perhaps that is the realization for us when we talk about choosing hope. To not just imagine that we have it all figured out, but that there might be some awakening that we still need. And in the awakening, we ourselves might be changed. We might find transformation that then feeds into the transformation of the world around us. The wisdom of Bodhi Day tells us that hope is consistent work. Hope is the realization that we are not strangers in a strange land, but that we are architects of this world together. We're living in a time that feels chaotic. The poverty, the sickness, the injustice that shocked Prince Sid, it's all still here. But we don't have to check out. And we don't have to be aggressive or cruel to survive it. We can sit under the tree. We can realize that our actions matter. And we can choose kindness, not as weakness, but as one of the most powerful tools that we have. So my question today is, what is it that you need to wake up to? What parts of your life, what activities, what roles are keeping you in your slumber, in your sleepwalk? And what are the practices that you need to engage to find your awakening? And the encouragement is then to do it, to sit down at the base of the tree, to engage with whatever traditions are a part of your own religious or spiritual framework that helps you to get your mind and spirit in the place where you need to receive something larger. And as you do that, if someone looks at you as you're navigating your own grief and growth and boundaries and new understandings of the world, and they say, "You've changed, you aren't the person that you used to be," I hope that you can look them in the eye, filled with the hope of a new morning, and say, "Of course I've changed. What doesn't?" May we all be so awake. Blessed be, and amen. The interlude is "Be ye lamps unto yourselves," with words attributed to Gautama Buddha, music from a melody in the Saram antiphonal performed by Steve, John, and Eva. Thank you, that was beautiful. Reverend Tandy Rogers writes, "May you choose hope even when it trembles. May it be the kind of hope that plants seeds, waits in the dark, and trusts the stirring. Hope that doesn't deny despair, but dares to outlast it." Our final song today is "There is More Love Somewhere." It's number 95 in the gray hymnal. You may stand or sit to sing, whichever you prefer, and if you're standing, feel free to remain standing as we end our service with the chalice extinguishing.
Read all 4 verses and then repeat the first verse. Sing out. This is an old spiritual. It's a lot of fun if you sing them out.
There is more love somewhere.
going to invite Jeannie to come extinguish our chalice. And before you extinguish the chalice, let me say to everyone who's here, please do stay for a friendly feast. There's plenty of food for everyone, and we'd love for you to hang out and get to know some people. If you are able-bodied and have strong backs and want to help put up some tables and move some chairs around, at the end of the service, go this way to the closet out in the hallway. If you're not, I would invite you to go this way so all of that work can be done, and then you can make your way down the hallway when lunch is ready. And now we will extinguish our communal and personal chalices and close with our unison sending words. Our service here is ending. Our service to the world begins anew. Go in peace, friends.